Saturday morning, and it's real cold outside. Saturday, January 24th, 2026, 710 KNUS, Denver's talk station. I'm asking my colleague John Caldera to stay with me. 710 KNUS Weather Center weather, 17 the high, 5 degrees tonight, 20 and snow about kickoff time, 0 tomorrow night, and 44 on Monday. I was listening to Caldera's show, and I want him to stay. Johnny, thanks for coming back and being with me. And there you are. Picked, by the way, the hitman, Joe Williams, is coming on at 10 o'clock. And there's a little bit of a hum. The only question I have is, there's 4 teams. Which of the 4s go to the Super Bowl? The Broncos, the Seahawks, the Rams, or the Patriots? Who's playing in the Super Bowl? John, we got him?
Oh,
yes.
The Broncos are going to lose in massive fashion in front of a Super Bowl audience. I think by some sort of miracle, Stidham is going to win tomorrow,
wow.
and then we're going to embarrass ourselves, a la Elway versus the 49ers.
Like playing the Seahawks or playing the Rams?
I think it's going to be the Rams.
What?
I have no idea why I say that.
It's okay.
All I know is this has been such a fun season. I've
great.
just really enjoyed the Broncos. It's been a kick. I always remember your take of your Denver Broncos.
Yours,
and
yes.
Man, when they're winning, yeah, they are my Denver Broncos.
That's right.
When they're losing, they're Pete Boyles' Denver Broncos.
They belong to the owners.
Yeah, they belong to the owners.
That was the Bolins Broncos. But those other Broncos, they're mine.
Those are mine. It's been a real fun year, and it's enjoyable to see the city and the state kind of get that extra diversion after there's so many polarizing things. It's just fun to have. It's just a kick. It's just a kick to have the Broncos.
There is a struggle for headlines in Denver. And this morning's Denver Post, it's the homeless again. And it's the lead story. I watched early edition on Channel 9. And it seems to be the Broncos now have taken the back seat to the poor homeless. Why do you think, and I got a bunch of stuff to ask you about the last part of your show, but why are the homeless homeless? This is my on-air question for the morning. Why do you believe the homeless are homeless? John, your thoughts?
Because they're insane.
Well, that's Adam's answer.
Yeah. Let me put it this way. You know this, and you remember our hero Bob Cote.
Oh, of course.
You serve on his board,
Mm-hmm.
and this was a guy who would look at the homeless issue fearlessly, and say, we're only encouraging what's going on here. And ever since the Road Home, that wonderful plan to end homelessness in 10 years, all we've done is to throw more money at it, and therefore we've gotten more of it. What you subsidize, you get more of. And I'm not talking about the people who are down on their luck and the people who are living in motel rooms. If people want to get help, there is help there for them. I'm talking about the vagrants, the bums, the people who who refuse to stay housed and get the help because they are chemically addicted and they're mentally troubled.
Homeless people, having walked behind Cote for all those years, homeless people are homeless for several reasons. Drugs and alcohol are the primary.
Right.
Or you can say mismanagement of funds. That would be the way the politically correct would say it.
Mismanagement of funds. I think I will invest not in IBM this year, but in fentanyl. That's a good investment.
They've mismanaged their funds. They're out of control, and life just happens to them. Do you think that's fair?
Oh, man, that's a great... I like the way you put that.
Yeah.
Life just happens to them.
Yeah.
What a sad statement, and we all have had friends who life just happens to them instead of people who take their lives and direct it themselves.
Well, they are homeless. People are homeless because they choose a system that's broke to work for them. Some are homeless because they'd rather be on the street and chase drugs, and some say...
Is it fair, Pete, to say they're homeless because we enable them to be homeless?
Yeah, as long as there's 3 hots in a cot, why do I care?
Right.
All right, so But if you want to go talk to the homeless, make sure you bring some food and some money and some clothes, and they'll give you a reason. Sure, of course they will. So,
all right, so can I just add this?
Of course.
What hurts me, and I do mean hurts me, is because of Denver's refusal to take on this issue or to enforce the law or to help these people, I have lost my humanity.
Yeah.
And I look at homeless people now, and I barely see them as human because I'm tired of cleaning up after them. I'm tired of shooing them away. I'm tired of cleaning up their feces and their vomit and their urine and their needles and their litter. And my employees being scared to walk out to their car. I'm tired of all of it. And I'm at this point of bring in the bulldozers, scoop them up, turn them into Soylent Green, and get them out of here. And I've lost my empathy for them because Denver refuses to enforce the law. And now law-abiding people, good people, we have to deal with this stuff as well as pay the massive taxes that create this problem.
Yes. Homelessness, the homeless population in Colorado has grown 90%, John. The fourth highest rate in our country, close to triple the national average, which is 34%. So on national average, homelessness has grown 34%. Here in Colorado, 90%. Now, the last three mayors that we have had each of them have increased the I will take care of you by quantum leaps. So the homeless, and now they are almost seen as heroic, the heroic homeless. Or my favorite word I watched on the 5 o'clock Channel 9 News, the unhoused.
The unhoused.
The unhoused. So why are they homeless? And I mean, and why do I take care of them? Why am I supposed to take care of adults that I know can work?
Yeah.
All right? So if we're getting down to, and I know your son, if we're getting down to, a legitimate young person who deserves my love and my attention and I will take care of you, as opposed to who I witness. Now, we've talked about this before. There is something called fascism's sweet song, and it goes like this: "I will take care of you." And you go, "Yeah, really? That's great. What do you want for it?" And the voice says, "I'll let you know." So, what I'm asking on an open lines is, why are the homeless? And if you look at these surveys, which Bob Cote called herding cats, that people are staying here because this stupid mayor, and he is, that would take more care of you. And they're arguing about a hotel. This is from the Wall. Pete, a great stooge, Curly said, "I'm a victim of circumstances." I remember that. Remember when he said, "I'm a victim"? Yeah.
I'm a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, spread out. Give me some room. But their situation is never their doing. That is very true. So why it's grown 90%, this, by the way, the date on this is April 17th, 2025, so it's almost a year ago. And it is Colorado's homeless population has grown by 90%, fourth highest in the rate, fourth highest rate in the U.S., and close to the triple the average of a 34% growth in average in this country. Why are they coming here?
Coming here because we take care of them better than any place else.
Bingo.
That's what you subsidize, you get more of.
Sure,
the
of course.
advertisement is come here, and if we really wanted to solve the homeless problem,
yes,
we would stop subsidizing it completely.
Absolutely.
And let me add one other part. Since a lot of people in my son's world who are dependent on Medicaid.
Yeah.
There are some Medicaid cuts coming because instead of bringing the money to people who are intellectually disabled, physically disabled. The money is going.
Yes.
Medicaid money is going to a bunch of healthy people who should have jobs and who are working.
I agree.
So who are we hurting? We're hurting the people who are truly dependent on Medicaid, who it was created for, who are not getting the services, who are getting cuts so that we can subsidize people who should be working. This is not charitable. This is cruel.
Not. It's very cruel. What are the causes of homelessness? I'm going to ask this as an open lines topic, and I love this housing first, meals served. That does nothing to the prime mover of why they're out on the street in the first place. So if you say, and it's a clarion call of the left, by the way, they're the ones that take away the guns, John, not the cops. When I heard that,
no, I never said the cops take away. But
I know.
I asked the question: why should cops have guns that civilians can't?
Because they're the cops.
You divide that over time, and it really does bother me that I believe that police should live by the same rules that we live in.
See, I don't.
And there's now something I've kept a list going, and I stopped doing it after about 70 different regular semi-automatic pistols that regular Coloradans can no longer buy because the model requires a 16-round magazine.
They can wiretap us, John. They do all kinds of stuff. I mean, they're the cops.
That concerns me.
What about it?
Not about today.
Yeah,
I think about how this grows in 20 years, 30, 40, 50, 100 years.
And I hope we're still here. But and also, when this question of by the way, the federal homeless funding is incredible. And then it's not just, housing first, I guess more to the point, handing a room key to someone with a substance addiction problems, drugs and or alcohol. Remember, alcohol is a drug. That accomplishes little. As a matter of fact, it makes the problem worse. So when idiots like the mayor or the last mayor or the mayor before him were handing door keys, that was their cure to homelessness. Here's a door key. And oh, by the way, something to eat at 4:00. John.
There's nothing reciprocal about that.
Oh.
There was a time that when organizations, private organizations, philanthropic organizations, churches, when they gave charity, they gave it with an expectation. Bob Cote did the same thing when he had Step 13, now called Step Denver. And it was like, yeah, we will give you food. We will give you shelter. In exchange, you're going to stop doing drugs. And it was a deal. And government does not have that authority. That the government has to give everything without that expectation. It's a dangerous way to help people.
But it's the mindset of the left. It's the mindset of it's not your fault. It's the mindset of I will take care of you. And once that starts, and is believed, by the way, by many, we're not talking about people like your son. We're not talking about guys who really physically have to be taken care of, or as you point out, these people. John, they're capable of work if they cease and desist. So as long as we underwrite them and take care of them, the picture of the possible causes of homelessness, drugs and alcohol, crime rates, don't want to work, federal programs that hand someone a door key. This idiot mayor who hands people door keys and cuts other programs because he wants to give more door keys. How do you win that?
I'll go to the same conclusion, but in a different direction. When will the people of Denver forget the politicians? Because politicians, they're just expedient. when will the people of Denver stand up and go, no, 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 no. The police are here to protect me from what the homeless are doing.
Yes.
I don't want to go to downtown anymore. I don't want to go out to dinner. I don't want to do this. I am cleaning up crap, literal crap.
I know you are.
Because these guys won't enforce the law. Why am I paying for government if they won't do their very basic job of protecting civilians and citizens?
Just take a look at the local news channels, what their lead story is this morning. It's these poor people are out there. We must take care of them. That's the lead. The Broncos playoff game is the second lead. But this morning, same thing in the front page of the Post. It's about homeless shelters and the mayor stalwartly standing. And so, I don't know, as I've often said about the media, it doesn't tell you what to think, but it does tell you what to think about.
Right.
Truly. I mean,
It's a good point.
No, they don't tell you what to think, but what to think about to defend somehow these victimless homeless who are because they're there to do what?
Then you add in this other bit of our Denver mayor and city council saying, well, not only are we making the criminal homeless a priority with your money, but to do it even more so, we're going to make illegals a priority for us to give them a key as well.
Sure.
And in the meantime, so many Denverites are like, wait a second, what about me?
Yep.
So you're spending my money to put up these little ballards and do bicycle lanes and lane dieting, so I can't drive in town anymore, and emergency vehicles can't make left-hand turns anymore. But we're spending money on this. At some point, the city just starts to crumble. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the homeless issue is getting worse again. For a while there, when the mayor was handing out keys left and right, we were buying hotels at a rapid pace, and that seemed to make a small difference. And now it's coming back. The homeless problem is returning with a vengeance in Denver. I'm seeing it. I don't know if other people are seeing it.
They get inside those hotels and they take them apart and they dismantle them and they take the wires out of the walls and everything that goes with it. And I don't know. But it's senseless. And so to the wall. Peter, hello. There are various reasons why people might be homeless. The SSD, the SSI, and other programs have strict qualifications and prevent massive homelessness. What's bad about that? Patriots fan in Denver. It's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the 90% increase in homelessness. Is that because of SSD and SSI? No. It's because of, like John pointed out, fentanyl and alcohol. And I just simply, what did we say? The term I used, mismanagement of funds. We got 30 seconds, John. I'll give it to you. Having
to wade through the bureaucracy to get my son's Medicaid and SSI and all this other stuff, it is a tangle of crap I can't imagine. And so these people who are least able to handle it, are intellectually disabled, are
the ones,
are the ones who pay the price so that we can give addicts a place to crash after their addictions. It's.
I love you. Thanks for coming back.
I wonder what history is going to say of this period of American craziness.
You watch. Hang on. Thanks, Johnny. Talk to you next week. Hang on, everybody.
Your KNUS forecast for the Denver metro area is a frigid one this weekend. Teens to low 20s is all we'll hit for highs today and tomorrow. Wind chill readings going to be in the single digits despite light winds. Overnight lows, single digits. Some light snow shower activity here around the metro area this Saturday. We'll see anywhere from a heavy dusting to maybe another inch. A little bit of some redeveloping light snow then Sunday afternoon and night. Some very small new accumulations likely. I'm meteorologist Mark Huer in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
There's a line open. Good morning, everyone. 710 KNUS, Denver's talk station. Cold outside, Saturday, 303-696-1971. Why are the homeless homeless? We'll go to the phones, but first, tell you about my friend David Ellis. You've heard me talking about David now for years. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. David Ellis Jewelers to get a fortune in cash, secure appraisals from David on all the valuables that you have tucked away in your home. And it's still true. Let me again share reasons to see David, just in case you don't have a Rolex watch, rare coins, or a silver tea set. See David Ellis for your most meaningful gift-giving occasions, i.e. Valentine's Day. David Ellis Jewelers, just the right items, just the right price, special people that mean the most to you, an antique watch, an emerald pendant, a gold necklace, a diamond ring. The trusted jeweler's been buying precious metals and antiques here in Colorado for decades. Dazzling cases filled with hundreds of new and used pieces loved ones will treasure. Again, visit David Ellis Jewelers, see for yourself. Look for the black awning on the corner of 3rd and Clayton and Cherry Creek. David Ellis is there now, davidellisjewelry.com. Call my friend David, 303-322-8779, 303-322-8779, 6 days a week. And tell them Peter Boyles sent you. We have full lines. Start with Cap in Lakewood. Cap, you're on a radio show. Good morning.
Good morning, Peter.
Brother.
Yeah, wow, where is everybody? I got in real easy.
Well,
no busy signal. I talked right to the guy.
You're sitting on the top of full lines. Go ahead.
Hey, man, yeah, I just kind of caught you and John about 5 minutes ago because slept in, had a bad day at work yesterday, had to sleep. But, yeah, this is a subject I always have been talking about with my friends and coworkers and people, the homeless and the problem, the mentally ill and the addicted. Yeah, well, I just hear, it was 2 or 3 days ago on the national news that Donald Trump made an announcement a proposal to reinstate government-funded mental institutions.
Yeah, I heard that. I don't know if I think I read it and I said, did I really read that without remembering correctly? I thought, do I bring that up? Would you Google that, please, Adam, and see if Donald Trump talked about reinstating mental institutions? Go ahead, Cap.
Yeah, so it's, and then I always, every time I talk to either you or John or anyone else on this subject, I always bring up John Hickenlooper. And I just like to remind people over and over, it's better to hear it.
The road home.
I mean, I looked it up on Google the other day. I asked the question, how much was spent on the home road or the road home program? It was a proposal of $33 million to begin with, and then they needed something like $9.8 million up front to get it running. And yeah, that was a while back, and at that time when I was that age, it's just something I knew about, but it's something I thought about as I grew older, and I should research it more and see how much money was actually spent and used.
Believe it or not, this mayor is worse.
Oh yeah,
by far. And again, the numbers that I'll give you my source. This is a year old. It's April 17th, 2025. Colorado's homeless population grew by 90%, the fourth highest rate in our country, and the national average is 34% growth. We are close to triple the average, and so why do you suspect that? I mean, I can. It's self-answering. It's because of the giveaway programs. And Bob Cote.
Yeah, rhetorical question. We all know that.
And when I remember Bob was still with us when John Hickenlooper announced Denver's road home, and Cote said that will be a clarion call across the United States to come here. And and that's when I started talking about giving people door keys, and giving someone a door key is an answer to a problem that is infinitely tougher than that. But giving someone a door key and giving someone 3 hots and a cot is not the answer to homelessness.
Yeah, no, it's not. I completely agree. I mean, it's a structure on. Well, here's an example. If you have a junkie, someone who does heroin,
sure,
we call them junkies, a heroin addict, and they're pretty strong into it. They've been into it for years. You know, it's a lifestyle.
Right.
If you give that person a home, well, my prediction is they're going to be more comfortable in the home. And more comfortable means, hey, I want to get higher. And, and when you get higher, you overdose. So I think you establish more comfort for these people, and they go further into their problem.
And the fools that want shooting galleries like Brittany Pedersen. And it was a while back, but we went up to Vancouver, myself, Mark Crowley, and Stefan, and lived up there for a couple of days and witnessed it. And it's a vision of hell. Yeah. That vision of hell is now here. And
no, it keeps growing. I'm in Lakewood, I'm kind of west of Sheridan. And I think I may have mentioned it to you one time, but there's a property next door to my building where I live because I rent. But there's a double property, 2 houses that have been abandoned. They used to be a lawn care business. They've been abandoned for well over 10 years. We had 4 fires, both those buildings. One building's even burnt down more than the other, but 4 fires within 12 months. That was last year, in 2025. And I just was making a joke with my neighbors and my landlord. I said, it's just a practice ground for the local fire department. And that's kind of like, it seems like that's what it is. Every time they come over, they bring their trucks, they get out, they do a little bit of stuff, put it out, and then they go away. And they kick the people out of there. And then they just come back within 2 hours that night. You know, they come back in and go right back into that house and start fires again.
I'm going to jump.
It's crazy.
Good call. Good starter. I appreciate it. Be safe.
You have to implement a little bit of restriction and somewhat of a punishment to show the person what they're doing wrong. You can't just appease and enable and let them continue. That's my philosophy. And I've always brought up the old child's book stories. Mother hen is the perfect example. Mother hen goes around and asks all the other farm animals to help her create and make some bread. But nobody wants to help. They've all got too many busy things to do. And when Mother hen finally makes the bread, everybody smells it and comes to her porch wanting some bread. It's a perfect example. So I think society's losing idioms and everything we created over the last couple hundred years to lessons, sayings, to teach kids and teach, hey, man, this is how you should live. Then now we have these people who grow up in older skin and they're still children. That's the way I see it. They're still children.
Cap, take care of yourself. Thank you, man. Good first call. Let's go to Don in Lakewood. Don, you're on a radio show Saturday. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning, Peter.
Morning to you.
So this is open lines, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't agree with Caldera. I think the Broncos are going to be exposed.
Okay.
I think New England's going to come in here. I think you're seeing the beginning of another dynasty. I think Drake May is so close to being another Tom Brady, and with Vrabel being the coach, someone people respect.
Okay.
We'll see. It's just my thoughts on it.
All right, Joe.
I've been a Broncos season ticket holder for since 1995. I haven't gone to any games since about 2003, 2004. I gave up on them and the management and went with the Patriots, and I've never looked back.
Well, Joe Williams is coming up at 10 o'clock, and let's see what he says. I appreciate it. Thank you. We got 2 lines open. Let's go to James. 303-696-1971 is the phone number. James, you're on a radio show. Good morning.
Good morning, Peter. Let me tell you a quick story.
Okay.
So back in 2009, I was a heroin addict, using about 3 grams of heroin a day, and I ended up in the city jail in Denver. The cops and the nurses, when I asked for meds to come down or help me come down, they said, no, you did that to yourself. Not one person would answer the phone of my friends. They said, you're bad, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So I ended up making a decision that day that would never happen again. Going through NA, AA, hardcore programs that taught tough love, like Step 13, and all that is what did it. And today I'm coming up on 17 years clean and sober. And if anybody would have enabled me back then, like this current government, I'd have been dead long ago.
Oh, sure.
And I was in the documentary Denver and Decay with Stefan, and I take this stuff real serious. And this is how stupid the government is, and they can change it, but if they put people in charge that have been through recovery, have long-term sobriety through tough love, and know how it works, we wouldn't be talking about this.
When I first met Bob Cote those many years ago, he couldn't get an elected official. No, he had one or two elected officials come in. They were council people from Denver who were conservative. They would come into step. Short of that, nobody came into step. And they treated step like a vampire. Bob had the answer, but
sure.
But it wasn't the answer they wanted to hear. Does that make sense?
No. Yeah, and I went to a program called Pier 1,
I know
which was out on the grounds of Fort Logan.
Yep,
and those houses were full. I mean, we had 148 guys at all times. That's closed down now.
Yep.
They'd rather give money for apartments and stuff like that. It's a joke. One other thing real quick, Peter. When I was doing Denver and Decay, I sent an email to Governor Polis, and I said, listen, I have this idea and I have a plan to help with the homeless in Colorado, and I will do it for free. Mm-hmm. And you know what he responded back? He says, we're just going to get them apartments.
Well, that's what they've done.
Straight up.
That's what the door key. I call it the door key solution. So they always have gobbledygook when they talk to you. And the messages from the state's housing offices, they come up with redefining performance metrics, funding evaluations, long-term self-sufficiency markers. Does that make any sense to you? Because it makes no sense to me.
Absolutely none. And see, every man, woman, and child out there in the world, I believe, has a purpose. But if it's clouded by drugs and alcohol and people that enable you, you're not going to get anywhere. I mean, whether it's AA or NA, and you have to go through the steps or programs that are out there to help you. That stuff works, and what they're doing doesn't work at all, and
again,
it's just sad.
So why are the homeless? And Channel 9's not asking it. The Post doesn't ask it. The 4 doesn't ask it. 7 doesn't ask it. And then when you turn to the state and you look at the terms and the verbiage that they use, and it's government doublespeak, and these terms, housing first and meals served, and numbers of people housed, the unhoused, and they talk about housing prices and those kinds of things. Housing prices don't mean jack to this.
No, it's in fact the homeless situation and the crime is driving a lot of people not to go downtown,
I agree.
not to be involved. And it used to be Coors Field and Lodo was so beautiful. Yep. And now you go down there and you go, really?
Yep.
Who allowed this to happen?
Well, that's housing first. And again, the door key solution. I want to give you a key and 3 hots and a cot. And now, in terms of how I see the world, I've just now cured your reason for being homeless. I've given you a place to sleep. That's so insane.
Huge mistake.
But that's their answer. I'm proud of you.
I had a great plan, and I spelled it out to Polis, and it would be an initiative based. You would work through this program, and by the end of this program, it would set you up. Be clean and sober and the whole nine. And he said no.
First of all, I mean, there's so many different aspects of this. They see it as a behavior instead of a disease. They see these different things. And as I've told people before, you want to go talk to the homeless, make sure you bring some food and money. They'll talk to you. All right, James,
have a good day,
I'm proud of you, brother. Thank you.
All right.
We got a minute and a half. Do we want to start the call? Or what do you want to do? All right, we'll take them after the break. All right, 303-696-1971. Coming up, Joe Williams, the hitman, will be with us at 10. We will talk about the hitman sense of what's going to happen tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and that goes on into the Super Bowl. And then the Biker Expo is not this weekend. Woo! Caught a break. It's going to be much better weather. So we're going to have, again, the guys with us, Scott Schultz and Brando from Devil's Head, and we'll continue in this conversation on homelessness. And it is, no one says, and I wrote this down when I got to work this morning, why are the homeless homeless? No one asks that, do they? And the answers are pretty widespread, but if you read, I was reading some government gobbledygook this morning, and here's another line: understanding the wider array of factors at play, painting a fuller picture of possible causes of homelessness. What does that mean? 710 KNUS Denver's talk station. You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. It's cold outside. We have two lines open, 303-696-1971. Morning, everybody. Saturday, January 24th. Huh? There you go. You're picking them, man. That's when you ask someone to dance, but it's 3 syllables. Dance. Would you care to dance? You tip your hat? You asked them? Saturday, the 24th of January, 2026, and the stock show and beginning of the Bronco playoff game and leading into the at the National Western to Colorado Motorcycle Expo next Saturday. All's well through 303-696-1971. We have a line open. Talk to you about our friends at Water Pros. Water Pros cares about the quality of your water. You can remove forever chemicals. I'm learning a lot about microplastics. Have you seen that? Microplastics that come in the water, hard water, with Water Pros. And again, get the Peter Boyles special. Start the process. Go to waterpros.net. Sign up for your free in-home consultation. They come to your home, they test your water, and answer all your questions and concerns, and it's a gimme. I trusted these guys. They are the best. Trust them with your water. Water Pros is family-owned and a veteran-owned business dedicated to providing you with the best in water treatment for far less than the other guys. Waterpros.net today. Request your free water test or call 303-862-5554. 303-862-5554. Get the free water test. They will show you the results and ask for the Peter Boyles special. We have a line open, and we begin with Don. Don in the Springs. Don, you're on the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Peter. The only thing I can say is basically the homeless has always been a gift for the socialists, the Marxists, and all that following this issue for over the years, you know, especially with Rush Limbaugh and using Clarence Henry's Ain't Got a Home on his talk show.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And that helped Clarence Henry more than Rod Stewart's covered of Some Guys Have All the Luck.
Well, let me read this to you. This is on the text coming in. Let's see, there's once again, pretty lengthy. Not everyone can achieve middle-class income. The rents in Denver are too high for many. Show me one person who has many. Well, again, high rents are a function of at least part of this.
Correct.
If you go to other cities that don't have this incredible skyrocketing amount of homeless, the prices aren't there. Have a guest on your show, a social services worker who would tell us the person can receive assistance on the basis of a bad attitude. You couldn't do it. It's not possibly true. It's absurd. God commands us to feed and shelter the destitute. These aren't destitute. These are people that have needles in their arms. These are people that have wine bottles in their back pockets. Tell me about how God commands me to take care of that guy.
That's a bit of twisted scripture. You're supposed to help people out, but they've got to do their part and better themselves, not just feed somebody and prolong a problem.
Yeah, I hear it again. I'll go back. Your solution would massively increase the number of homeless people. Homeless used to be caused by drug or alcohol problems. That isn't true now, really.
No.
Self-sufficiency or death? I don't think so. Your philosophy concerning the homeless as evil is nonsensical, is absurd. Coming from an agnostic, it's not surprising.
Still the biblical principle of, teaching them how to fish is still
it isn't.
key.
You can't fish drunk, or maybe you
Correct.
can.
But you know what I mean.
Oh, I do know what you mean. But when you read this and you ask to the texter, why are the homeless homeless? And what do you think 90% of the answers would truthfully be?
I think the answer is even the song from Arrested Development, Mr. Wendell says it best. He has freedom that you and I think is dumb.
Well, what do you think 90% of the cause, to answer the question, homeless or homeless because, what do you think 90% of the answers are? Chasing dope, drinking, don't want to pay the bills?
That's those are all factors in it for sure.
No, not factors. They're principles.
Principle, yes.
So to this wonderful texter, call the show. Let's talk about it.
Amen. But still, it's still something that Comrade Kyle and 9 News, 7 News, CBS News Colorado, and even Fox 31 and KWGN can ride on.
But they're just, all they are is reflective. And like I said, this morning, I was up early, I was on the phone, and I turned on the tube, and I'm looking at the news, and I'm looking at the headline front page of the Post, and they're all identical. They're talking about homeless people before the Bronco playoff game. Now, that's rare because it's cold outside, because it's zero. So everybody says, "Oh, we have to think about these people." Well, what about
they got to get the bleeding? They got to get the bleeding hearts activated.
What about thinking about them when it's 85 degrees and sunny?
Exactly.
And they don't see a story on the homelessness when it's 80 degrees outside.
Because nobody thinks about that, but they use the cold weather as a way to try to get this story rolling.
But it plays out into, this is what the news editors, believe me when I tell you, the morning anchors aren't coming up with the stories and writing the stories. There are news writers who are working for editors who are given direction by news directors. And so when they start talking about, how, like this one we're just reading,
it's not the producers that answer to the editors.
But this isn't about housing prices. I mean, this is ridiculous to use this. The homeless want to be homeless. I don't think there's an opportunity. Not able to achieve middle-class income, not able to pay the rent levels. Look, when you start using that MacGuffin of the possibility of causing homelessness being the housing prices, these guys aren't talking about buying houses. These guys are talking about getting the next high.
And it's also a great way to expand government and
of course
have international nationalized income,
of course,
or whatever they call that.
Well, again,
they're a perfect tool for the left.
There's a plank in the platform called guaranteed incomes. And
a universal income. That's the word I was looking for.
Well, they're looking to pay these people $1,000 a month. Just give them $1,000 of taxpayer money once a month. Well, how much dope can you buy with that?
Exactly. Universal income is going to be wasted, and it's going to be given to all of us, and it's going to crash us.
I got to read this.
Have a good one.
You too, brother. Thank you. This is a good one to read, and then we're going to come back with Joe Williams. Pete, I've never understood how one person's morality gives them the right to take my money and then use it for their solutions. If I want to donate to a charity, I will. That's really well said. This is one. Peter, in San Francisco, there's an NGO called Community Forward, runs San Francisco's managed alcohol program. The NGO is supposed to provide free alcohol. Yeah, I know. I've seen that. Free alcohol for homeless alcoholics. So the absurdity of that. All right, here's what we're going to do. Your Denver Broncos are in a playoff game tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and everybody will be watching. They're playing their New England Patriots. The one, the only, the hitman, Joe Williams, coming on the radio show to talk about it. And the hitman flies no flag. He has no allegiance. Many, many, many one-time Denver Broncos players as well as fans were very upset with things the hitman said, and that's why I love him. So Joe Williams, the hitman, comes on with us as well. Then we'll come back to this. Why are the homeless homeless? It's a great question, and the answer is they can't defend it. So, we ready to go here? 303-696-1971. Hold out your calls. We'll come back with the hitman. Here we go.